So here I am in the middle of Malaga. Someone's just kind of dropped me in the middle of an industrial estate in Malaga. You can probably hear the traffic outside and the trucks and the lorries and goodness knows why. You're probably wondering, why am I here when I could be sat at home in my lovely little villa in Montemayor? The reason I'm here is to show you this stuff. So this is the home of Eco Construction, which is a company that specializes in modular house building. So rather than brick and mortar and brick and mortar, these guys actually use building blocks to construct homes. Hi, how you doing? So, you're probably wondering, where are we? What are we doing? This is Ivan from Eco Construction, and we are here today to look at this, which is a bit of a wall. Okay, now, the reason we're here is because we've partnered with these guys in being able to offer a revolutionary way of building a house that will save you time, that will save you money, and will also help the environment. They're the three key things about this. But what I wanted to do today was I wanted to find out a bit about how it all works, because it all sounds great on paper. These guys have told me how amazing it is, but I wanted to see how I can build a wall, and that's why we're here today. So Ivan, this reminds me of Lego. Is it that simple?
It is that simple, Sean. We call them Lego blocks, but in fact they are neopore blocks. And we put them together like Legos, like you see, one block on top of another. Of course, we have to respect some techniques.
So Ivan, I guess this is the external wall.
Exactly.
This is the internal wall, because there's a difference in thickness. What's this thing in the middle?
This is the internal insulation.
The internal insulation.
And the external insulation are kept together by ties, plastic ties, so that it's a solid block.
Okay.
We call it the Lego block. We put them on top of each
you
other.
Stack them basically?
Yes, we built like a bricklayer. Yeah. It's large bricks we put together. Yeah. We respect some techniques which are necessary to keep the block secured when we pour the concrete. Yeah. Let's say when we pour the concrete into the middle of the block, which is 15 centimeter. Yeah. So you get a house of 15 centimeter reinforced concrete, which is also reinforced by rebars who come here on top of these plastics, horizontal. And they go around. Yeah. And vertical, they come out of the slab and they go up to the ceiling.
So all of that, the concrete and the metal, gives it the rigidity.
Gives it the strength and makes them also earthquake proof.
Okay, because at the moment these are really light, aren't they? What's inside here? Because it's so light. It's
this
amazing.
Is a raw material that the manufacturer buys at BASF in Germany, and they put them in a mold. They inject them in a mold with steam and water, and they make these blocks. In fact, these blocks are like 98% of air and 2% of raw material.
It's incredible. Yeah. You gave me two facts before we started filming, which were amazing. I love them. First one, compared to traditional bricklaying, you mentioned a bricklayer would normally lay how many bricks in a...
8 square meters, and some very fast and good bricklayers like 10 square meters per day.
In a day? Okay.
In a day.
What about this? How quickly could you get this?
Our people, they do 10 square meters in an hour.
Wow. So you can see that how much time that could possibly save somebody when they're building their own place. Yes. That's incredible. And it just comes up in a building block. I mean, the other key fact that I love is that behind us here is a house.
There's a house, yeah.
Which is great. So this is all the materials.
And a pool.
Oh, and a pool here. So these are all the materials to build a house of around 300...
This house is 280 square meters.
280 square meters.
And the pool is around 32.
That's incredible. And it's all here.
And it's all here, yeah.
That's absolutely
yeah, it's a little bit behind also. Yeah. The plastics for the pool, because for the pool we manufacture like the external and the internal insulation 7.5 centimeter, and then inside is 20 centimeter of concrete to secure the pressure of the water. So we manufacture this on site, and in these boxes you will find the plastics which we put ourselves on site.
It's incredible. So I think it's very easy to see how this can save time. Very easy to see how this can save money because of the time that you're saving. Exactly. And the third key thing is the eco-efficiency. This system, and these guys have effectively the distribution rights for the whole of Spain, which is fantastic. This system guarantees you an A-rated energy efficiency certificate,
A level.
which is so difficult to find now. I mean, you could do this house in brick and you do it to a very nice specification and a very nice building methodology, but you would never get anywhere near an A rating. With this, you do. And if you think about where the world is heading in terms of energy efficiency and energy savings and all those things, this is the way to go. And this is not unusual. This is this is something that is happening worldwide. People are building like this. But in Spain, in the Costa del Sol, in the area we are, this is still pretty revolutionary. And this is going to save people a lot of time and a lot of money.
In fact, I wanted to add that the system is not reacting on any temperature. So it's not reacting on a cold temperature, neither on a warm temperature. That means it's neutral, and it keeps the internal temperature inside as you wish. Keeps the sun out or keep the warmth inside in the winter time. So it's used in Canada and United States, in England. It's used for in a lot of buildings. So it keeps the temperature like you want to keep it inside. So
that's the problem in southern Spain, isn't it? That it gets very hot very suddenly, and then it gets cold again. And it's but this is able to withstand those temperature differences.
Another difference between the traditional building is that this wall is only 35 centimeter, 15, 15 and 5. And that to get the same insulation with a bit of good insulation stuck to the brick wall or into two brick walls, you need like 45 to 50 centimeter. That's a big difference.
It is.
A big difference in shape of the house and in living space. And even if people want to build passive houses, they can build up to 45 centimeter and then they have a complete passive house, which is a house that is not consuming any energy. Of course, it's a little bit more expensive because the blocks are bigger and there's more insulation. But the building method and the way we build, the rapidity and everything is the same.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, so this is why I'm in the center of the Malaga Polígono industrial estate, looking at Lego. Oh, don't be joking. But looking at something that looks a hell of a lot like Lego. And we're learning a lot today about how these houses are built, the benefits, how it all fits in together, and what ultimately ends up in someone's plot of land. So once you build your wall, what happens next?
Once the wall is built, we build it up to the ceiling height, and then the ceiling comes on top of it. Once the ceiling is poured, this is a traditional ceiling most of the time with the insulation that we are prescribed by our architect and engineer. Then if there is a second floor, we build the second floor as we build the ground floor. It's
just the same again.
But the insulation comes from the foundation and goes up to the top of the roof, which is in fact creating a house with insulated at every corner and every wall, and also from the top to the bottom. Because of the steel, we create a monolithic system, which is a house that moves in one time when there is an earthquake, and nothing cracks. That means that it's very strong. It's very strong. It keeps everything together. It's not like you build a concrete skeleton and you put brick walls into between. If you have an earthquake, the skeleton will not move, but the bricks will fall down.
So the external render, you can do anything really. This is the body of the house, isn't it? And then outside.
A lot of possibilities. Imagine that we are going to build a window here. This is the opening for the window. Well, we take out this part, the small part, and the window factory builds the window on top of the concrete, which is to the insulation, firmly screwed into the concrete and didn't create any thermal bridge. So we have agreements with the window factory that is going to put all our windows. We are going to work together. It's a Spanish company and they deliver very good quality, especially insulated, and works perfectly with our system.
Perfect. Yeah, because everything has to align, doesn't it? You don't want someone who's never come across this. Exactly. That's perfect. And we also have a list of the specifications that these guys use in their building. Obviously, if you want something specially made or whatever, then that can be done. But in terms of the projects that we're going to be offering, there is a specification list, and we can provide that to you.
Yeah. And I can show you a little detail.
What the heck is that?
These are the small raw materials.
I feel like I'm holding something from the moon here.
Yeah. You see them? These are very small.
Oh, okay. I wasn't going to.
And they are expanded in the malls. And in fact, if you should see them originally, they are 100 to 200 times smaller than what you see here.
So these are little beads.
And they are hard like concrete. They are beads, in fact, yes. Yeah.
This is like opening a beanbag and having great fun. And gosh, right, okay.
To cut our walls, and for instance, I have to move a little bit to this side. We have to put electricity, plumbery.
Yeah.
We put it in the internal wall.
Yeah.
And with our heating wire, we just melt where the pipes are coming for the electricity and the water, and we don't have to saw. And because when you saw this, you get this effect, and it's all over. And we don't want this. So with the heated wire, we can melt it, and it's a straight line, so that the electrician.
A straight line in Spain on a house.
Well, that's what we want. Straight lines.
Because that's the problem, isn't it? Sometimes, depending on what time of the day it is, you go and have a look at a house that's being constructed by well-meaning Spanish builders, and the bricks have started to get a bit wonky, and the roof started. With this, you can't go wrong because it's all prefabricated. You just, as you say, you're just cutting into it to allow all the other bits and pieces.
At the end of each block, when we make a corner, we make the corner like the real brickwork. We put like a stopper and a second to secure when the concrete is poured, is flowing. Yeah,
because this is the bit you need to reinforce a little bit more, isn't it? This section here.
Yeah, just to keep also the right insulation and keep also the concrete from going out on the sides. This, with our heated wire, we make like a cutting so that the concrete can flow.
Whoever knew Lego could be so much fun for adults and not just for kids.
When we start excavating and everything goes smooth, the materials, of course, they are here, so we don't have to wait for them because we prepared it in advance. You must think about 8 months.
8 months.
8 months average to finish.
That's very good because the traditional brick-built houses in Spain, it's normally 18 months, isn't it? 18 to 24.
I have no idea, but I see that they are a long time in the rough construction. So yeah.
I mean, the beauty
we can continue quite quickly.
That's great. So, if you want something like this, what you need to find is a plot of land first of all. And again, we have access to various plots where these guys have already imagined the perfect house. So we have projects that are ready to go on plots of land that are ready to build on. So you need to find a plot of land. You need to decide on the building that you want. And with the help of their architects, we can sit down and we can work out the different styles that are available and what you can do, the amount of square meters you can build. Then once we have the design approved by the client, we then take it to the town hall and say, can we please build this? And as long as it's within the recommendations and regulations of the local town hall, then permission is given. And depending on which town hall you're in, that can take a matter of a month or 6 months or a year, depending. And then you go through the build procedure with these guys, and you have a choice to make. You can either build something traditionally with another builder, or you can build something like this with this methodology, which will take 8 months on average. Sometimes it's a little shorter depending on the style and size of the house. Sometimes it's a little longer, but
depending on the shape and
exactly, and any complexities.
Terraces.
Yeah, but that is the beauty of using this system, is the time savings and the cost savings and the energy efficiency A rating which you get from this type of building. And then during construction, you pay at various stages once different parts of the project are signed off by the architect, and you end up with a house that's all finished, all done, no problem at the end of the process. So I've heard a rumor that forklift truck drivers get paid more than real estate agents. So I'm training myself. No, I'm not. Anyway, so wasn't that interesting? I thought it was really interesting to see exactly how all those building blocks fit together. It is just like Lego, but for serious people. And I think we're going to have some fun with this product. It's something that nobody else can offer. And in terms of those 3 things which are all important at the moment, saving time, saving money, helping the planet. I know it's a bit glib and it's a bit cheesy, but it's true. We all want to play a little part in that. I think it's fascinating, and it's going to help a lot of people realize their dream, but for a lower cost. I don't know if I'm going to be able to manage this, Alfredo. It's a bit... Oh, I'm going to drop. So, Alfredo, this is what a university education does for you. I'm giving up real estate. I'm going bricklaying.
Go on, drive it.
Can you imagine the chaos?